will be stepping down as Gearbox CEO. There's my hot take. I hope he does, really. So you're not a Randy Pitchford fan anymore, Adam. Because you used to be, right? Again, presumption of innocence. I'm only joking around when I talk about the Claptrap thing, but... You know, he did say he enjoyed it and reveled in it. So maybe he was talking about how the guy voice acted Claptrap pro bono. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell anymore. The truth from the lies. Give it to Randy Varnell. Fuck yeah, I like Randy Varnell a ton too, dude. He died. We're gonna get IP banned from Among the living, soon to be dead. Thank you, Wilso. Be right back. Alright, see you soon. Alright, I'm also gonna take another shit take, another 50 cent bid here. That we do not see Adam the rest of the stream. I think Randy loves this. I think Randy actively worked. This is Pitchford against Borderlands or Battleborn. I mean, I think he Borderlands Queen. Look at that, Borderlands Queen 2017. Thank you for taking the red pill. Man, it keeps bouncing out. Keeps hitting that one angle. Seeing just how deep the rabbit hole goes. Welcome to reality. Thank you for that Morpheus cat hype. Well, so Borderlands Queen. Thank you very much for that follow. Much appreciated. By being himself. Like, retweeting the Jism Arendi, saying that Borderlands would never go free to play, or Battleborn would never go free to play, which I think later is a part of the confusion for its inevitable free to play, the just sudden death of the content, and the weekly updates. I am nearly positive Randy gave it a, we're not gonna, Jeremiah, thank you for that red pill hype, sir. I think there's got to be a ladder system up, because I'll just keep walking around. The tweets of its action grade hobby surplus MMO MOBA-esque shooter looter thing. It was every genre in one and nobody understood it. Like, I kind of get the tweet, but it was, for whatever reason, it was more of a meme than good marketing. And it just goes from there. I think he really self-sabotaged it because he didn't want Battleborn to be the new baby. You know, Borderlands was his, and there was the other team within Gearbox working on Battleborn. I just don't know that he wanted it to succeed. I think if it would have made money, he would have jumped on board, but... It says something now that, like, especially Battleborn people are like, we like Randy Varnell. That guy's cool. He writes, and he's smart, and, like, you can kind of... He can just... I don't know, I feel better about him. A lot better about him. I know we're talking about feels here, but he seems real. And he's smart. And I just fucking... You know, even if you're Randy's biggest fan, where are you on trust level at this point? Just to have this amount of allegations in the air, like... That Jim Sterling thing was weird too, where he's like, it's this English guy, he's always angry. He's a big guy, like he knew everything about him but refused to say his name. Clearly he knew he was talking about Jim Sterling. Jim Sterling came to hate him because Jim Sterling called him out on Aliens Colonial Marines and said, you're full of shit. Like, you're not telling me the truth. Randy gets really pissed. So that Game Informer thing, right? Glad to be here. Thank you, Borderlands Queen. Thanks a lot for that follow. Just Randy, that was a sad thing. Why? Did he think that would... It only drove the memes even higher. He apparently thought that Overwatch was only popular because of Rule 34, which... It was bigger than that, I think. I think we can all agree. I kind of forget where I was. Shit. Oh well. Oh, the Jim Sterling thing. Okay, and then like we go to Game Informer, and after the oh, he's an Australian. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, be damn. Thank you, Wilso. I thought he was English too. I like his YouTube content, I'll be honest. I don't always agree with his opinion, but I find his videos entertaining most of the time. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, but, you know, Sterling was, like, I think Destructoid was his, he was with Destructoid, he was traditional, and, he was one of the first ones to really call Randy out on Aliens, Colonial Marines, and didn't think that it was all on the level. And ever since then, him and, you know, Randy and Jim have had this feud, which Randy acts like he's not even aware of, but I think he knows a little too much not to be on the level of it. Crikey. And, so anyways, you know, Randy got really, really angry after they announced Borderlands 3. They showed the gameplay trailer off at that Game Informer thing. I thought, okay, you know, maybe it is kind of clickbait. Like, Game Informer will have, said Borderlands 3 will have microtransactions and stuff. But then I realized, you know, you come to think about it and you look at it, and I now know why they wrote the article, and it makes sense. They were actually doing their job as journalists, honestly, because Randy said on the stage of the Borderlands 3 gameplay reveal that there would be no microtransactions. None whatsoever. And, like, yeah, maybe it was common sense that it wouldn't have loot boxes, but it was going to have the cosmetic stuff that Borderlands 2 had, but he still said none. And so they set the record straight. They did their job. I think that's a big part of the job of journalism. When it's honest. But Randy flipped the fuck out on him and said, you know, this is a shitty clickbait title and you fucked me. He says it right on Twitter, like, it's just not professional in the least. Right there on the public forum. In that language. He was not, like, business-like or reciprocal or open or genial or any of that. He was as gruff as you can be. Just, can't believe you fuck me like this, like a gangster. What's with that language? I'm not against cursing, obviously. It's just, you don't expect a CEO of now one of the more major video game companies with the most major release of the year on the line to talk like that. You expect him to have a certain level of professionalism, and not you fucked me. And now what does that mean? What are you trying to intimidate them? Are you threatening them? And the problem is you fucked me on this, all on top of, so you get to see exactly what he's like. Ostensibly exactly what he's like. Under the, and then, you know, not even a week later you get, I was assaulted. Hey, he, you know, would force me to sit out in the hallway, and he'd say, can your god help you with this? And let's get his GameStop's in-house mag. I don't know what he gains from it except being Randy. Right, and they've always, like, had a working relationship, too. Game Informer's done the covers and forum, and I think that Randy, one of his things is that he's been a bit slow to adapt to the idea that YouTube and Twitch, the games media, has a very, very strong independent branch with people like myself and others, and that the traditional gaming media they don't just monopolize it anymore. Granted, they compete with one another, but because of the way that it all worked, you could really control the narrative around a game. You know, Nintendo Life, Nintendo Power Magazine. They only talk about Nintendo games. They have the inside information on all the Nintendo games. You don't know anything outside of what Nintendo Power tells you. And so, like, the kind of flame and salt, that was the good side of it, is you don't have near as much toxicity as what you used to. As what you do now, I mean. But the bad side to it was that there was a lack of genuine criticism. But Gamergate was bigger than just, oh, there's sexism rampant in the industry. It was like, there was that other element of Gamergate where, like, people like Adam Sessler were being paid for reviews and weren't transparent about it, and the whole thing was rigged. So if you think that, like, today's a low point for video games because the GOP senator has said, hey, I think it's time to regulate. And Hawaii, wasn't that congressman out of Hawaii? I think it's the guy who's running for president right now. That Castro. I think Castro was the one who introduced the legislation against video games as well to say it was gambling. But, you know, you got this whole other element where the games media is actually at its strongest point. But it didn't come from that point. It came from a totally corrupt point. And it's still not in great shape, obviously, but... You know, like the ninja thing. That's a story. The ninja was paid $1 million. $1 million. To stream Apex Legends. But I don't think Randy's liked it. I don't think he's liked it because they lost a lot of control when this happened. When Twitch and YouTube really became big. They were no longer able to, like, you know, here's 10 grand and fucking... If this is how it worked, it seems like it is. I want you to keep the criticism to a minimum, and I want you to basically write ad copy for us. It's a great game. It's wonderful. I loved it. 10 out of 10. Then you had people like fucking Baru be able to get onto the and say pre-sequel's trash, and that pissed him off. He called Baru adorable. Fidel Castro. I think his name's Julian Castro. He's actually really well spoken. Sees in 20. Oh, I know it sees power. That's why I'm saying back in the day. Back in the day. Thank you, Will So It. Yeah, you know, the way that it worked. And I think that's why it sees publication, because that's no longer the way that it worked. There was no way you could still write these fluff pieces about Pokemon and Kirby and call that games journalism, because you're going to have someone get on there, man versus game or whatever, and be willing to say this fucking sucks. And people took that. They apparently received that much better than these fluff pieces. Like, how many Pokemon are there really? There's 151. Oh man. And the internet, of course. If you wanted guides for Nintendo Power, or, you know, Primate Games has also gone out of business now. The writing's been on the wall for a long time that was over. They briefly tried... Oh, it's a monthly podcast now. I'll be damned. I didn't know that. I didn't know they were still continued. They tried briefly to be like collector's items, and maybe that worked. Yeah, well, I got it. I'm dumb and bought that thing. And what's terrible about it, Will, so is it's full of misinformation because, you know, Bethesda and Fallout 76, there's nothing... I don't blame the guide. Oh, so close. I think it's just literally what the devs were able to give them. And there's scrapped ideas in that guide, which sound cool. So I read a chunk of it, made notes, and I was working through it, and I just realized, like, half this shit isn't in the game anymore. A lot of this was cut content. Like, I was especially using the workshop guides to try to, like, really make a definitive tier list. I had a lot of ideas, because, again, we were going to cover 76 like we covered Battleborn. And it was almost all inaccurate. The one that I remember the most vividly, that just the corner of it. Oh, we got it. It's up near the ash area where it's all white. There's like a workshop area up there which has like 4 acid things and a crystal and I think 1 uranium. And it's squared off, and it's not a bad location at all, and it's definitely a good like middle tier workshop. But it claimed, like, there's the power substation right next to it, so you can just power all your shit up with that. And I kept thinking, okay, this is a fucking great location. And there is a power substation adjacent to it, touching it, but you can't use it. But I know that I spent 3 good hours building it up, running around it, looking around it, trying to get this power substation hooked up to all the shit that I built. And then, of course, it's 76, so you get server booted, and the whole thing starts over again. And I kept trying and trying and trying, but finally I was able to reach the conclusion that this is completely inaccurate. Yeah, then crash. Exactly. Exactly. But I've still got the shit bookmarked where I was making a workshop tier list, and we were going to make building guides, and I was ready for the whole enchilada. Apparently just got a massive update. I'm still going to go back in August. You know, granted everything's going according to schedule, because the most important thing is the Borderlands projects.
The key works. So
That hole, though.
ready to go inside while I finish
Yo.
off. Wait. Where am I? What
Hey.
happened to the vault?
Watch out.
Why is this hole here?
Shadow. Is Mother's Day Sunday for you guys too? It's Mother's Day for us. But Sunday's Mother's Day here in the States, so I'm gonna have to delay the big tournament one more week. So next Sunday, big tournament. Yeah, are you gonna be around tomorrow that we could do the small tournament? I'm gonna try to make some good progress here on Morty today, and then I figure tomorrow we could do small tournament. When you get off work?
I'm hit.
Yes, sir. Okay, Mother's Day for you as well. Is that why you got family coming in this weekend? I don't think you do much with your mom, but maybe you guys are all just hanging out instead.
Taking fire. You pay for that. No. I'm hit. No. You pay for that. Taking fire. With a crimson lance. I'm hit. You pay for that.
Should be good for next weekend. Sweet. Alright, I should be good as well. I've gotta try to make sure everything... I'm still seeing how my weekend's playing out. We gotta finish the bathtub project and we got Mother's Day, so... Oh my god, we were...
The crimson lance.
If I could see her ass. That sucks, man. I got... Oh, you got canceled? So your weekend's free? Shit. Okay, well my weekend won't be. Thank you for understanding though, Justin. I'm hoping we can bust a lot of shit out this weekend so the next weekend looks good and clear. As I told the stream to open the stream, I would love... Oh, she don't even hurt. If by June 2nd, which is the last week in May, to have this all the way done, of course, and I think Mao was the worst role. And Red Dead 2. But I think we could do Red Dead, story strictly in 2 weeks. We could revisit as time permits. And then Borderlands 2, starting in June. If we are on Borderlands 2 by June, then we've got a chance to finish all the projects. I really believe that. Rip, no doubt. No doubt. I just don't get what Randy is saying. What, did he enjoy it and reveled in? Oh, you came back. I just lost 50 cents stream. I had bet the stream at him that you want to come back. I mean, I think that Randy's just nice. Like I was saying earlier, Adam, I don't think that Randy adapted well to the idea that independent media gained a lot of control and a lot of power. He's adapted to it, but I still think it's begrudgingly. And I think it frustrates him to no end. Again, saying to Game Informer, you fucked me. This is a shitty clickbait title, is the language of a gangster, not a CEO of one of the bigger game companies. I'm not against cursing, it's just something you don't see. And he didn't get fucked. If you really think about it, and you look and you read the article, he fucked himself. He's the one who said Borderlands doesn't have microtransactions. He said that at the gameplay reveal. No microtransactions. But it does have microtransactions. Like, granted, maybe it's commonsensical that he means, like, loot boxes. But if he's saying there's no microtransactions, then if we're talking about people besides you and me and everyone else who games on the regular, they're not going to understand that. The people who just go to Walmart and say, Borderlands 3, that looks interesting, or GameStop, that looks interesting. No microtransactions. They were doing their job as journalists. They're correcting the record. And he says, you fucked me. He tries to, like, intimidate him. And then, a week later, you have the assault allegation. I'm not saying any of it is true, but I'm saying he doesn't do himself any favors. Saying that the guy enjoyed and reveled in it. He'll get out of it scot-free, but I think the general trust of Randy Pitchford is bottoming out. I was really late on the train. I've always been a defender of his. Like, hey, he's really smart. He's a cool guy. He's been good for the industry. Gearbox has done a lot of really good projects, especially in the with what's currently going on You know, where at this point the industry's fucked itself so hard, the government's gonna get involved most likely. But he just doesn't do himself any favors. I don't know why they hid this staircase so well. There's this thing in game design where you try to guide the player to give them the best possible path so they can easily navigate the map, and that is not an example of that. It's behind you and blocked by a giant pillar. But hey, it could go back to what we were talking about last night, where he's just stirring shit up to keep the eye of the media on him, to keep the hype for Borderlands 3 up there throughout. Maybe they learned from Battleborn the way that they didn't stay on the hype train. You know, I've still got the Game Informer around here. Battleborn was on the cover of Game Informer like 2 years before it actually came out, and people just forgot about it. They did not hype that game well. It wasn't done well. The marketing wasn't done well. It was just, there were a lot of things that went wrong. Maybe he's just being, like I said yesterday, Adam, maybe taking a page out of the president's playbook and just fucking stoking the fire. Stoking the fire. Stoking the fire. There's no such thing as bad press. Keep the camera on me. Keep the camera on me. And by the way, we're about to release Borderlands 3, because every single time Randy Pitchford has an article published about him, which has been like every week now, it'll say, you can pre-order Borderlands 3. Just get Borderlands 3 is set to come out in September. By the way, Borderlands 3, and it's keeping Borderlands 3 in the news. Maybe that's a conspiracy theory, but that's the only way I can make it logical in my mind and not instantly say, wow, looks like Randy's just a shithead, huh? Because I would prefer, honestly, for the industry's sake, not to believe that he's just a shithead. That'd be nice. Because Gearbox is still one of those companies that I think is doing it right. They've not gone down Bethesda's dark path, EA's path, Activision Blizzard's path, games as a service, live only. That we talk about that every other episode on this playthrough. It was announced way too early. Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, yes. Dude, and they had so much hype for him back then. Do you remember when he announced Battleborn, Adam? People were like kind of thinking, okay, Borderlands 3 might happen now. And instead they did Battleborn, but they had an entire theater full. Bottom and top. That place even had an upper level, and they had that place filled with fans. You know, by comparison, it was a much smaller event to announce it at PAX. Which is interesting in and of itself, that they did not announce it at E3 and rather PAX. But they also announced it super close to the actual release date, so. Which is something 76 did that I thought kind of worked, because you get to carry a lot of hype that way, but of course in the case of 76, it wasn't even remotely ready to be launched. Not even a little bit. There's already been a multitude of really good videos covering, in as brief a detail as possible, the many issues of 76, just on a technical level. That game might be coming along, but I still think it's going to be years. I still think it's going to be freaking years until that game is in a really proper state where the only goal, oh, it's got one more in the mag. The only goal that I can imagine of Fallout 76 and what their just desserts will be in their reward is they get another Fallout shelter. They make fucking money hand over fist. That does sound legit. What sounds legit, Adam? What? That he's just trying to stay in the news? It sounds legit, but at the same time, like, hey, that class action lawsuit is a very real thing. It's not gone away. It's still right there, and it's gonna proceed to court. Because if it wasn't, the first thing they do is the pretrial, and the pretrial decides whether it's even worth taking it to court or not. Whether you even have a substantial enough of a case that you can even make the argument. And in this case, I would assume the pre-trial is already gone, because that's the first thing. They usually do it early. And it said, yeah, you can proceed. There's enough here to form a lawsuit. And so that means now it gets to go to the real thing. That's the part where it's like, it's more than just a conspiracy theory. He's legitimately in the shit. Like, but I think Gearbox Legal is trying, is taking control of the case. So, yeah, I don't know that it's going to be against him, the man. Borderlands will be a launch title for Xbox 2, PS5 with all the DLC and be like an Ultimate Edition, dude. I have no idea, Adam. Probably, I guess. But I'm not even thinking about those new systems, Adam. I guess they're coming up, aren't they? But didn't Xbox 360 and PS3 last like 7 years? How many years are we into the one? I guess E3 will really know, but PlayStation's not doing E3. E3's starting to lose a lot of prestige. I'm not sure why that is, by the way. I don't understand that situation. It was 7 years for them now. I don't think so, Justin. I think that there's just a lot of rumors, like the all digital Xbox. Is that confirmed, Adam? Do you got me a link? You got a source for that 2020? Because I don't think there's any hard news. Okay, all rumors. Thank you. The all digital Xbox was rumored to be the new Xbox. There'd be two versions. There'd be a hard drive version with an optical drive. And there'd be an SSD version with an optical drive, and then there would be a no optical drive cloud machine. But the cloud machine turns out to be a regular Xbox, and I think it's gonna flop. By the way,
You survived.
I don't know. I want a fucking optical drive. Like, it's $20. Throw it in the Xbox. I still want to play discs, or But the problem is, if this thing does sell well, bastards like Bethesda get to keep getting away with what they get away with. You know that you could go to Walmart. That game that you, Justin, and myself, and Wilson paid $90 plus for? Fallout 76. The game that shit the bed. You could buy it at Walmart 2 weeks later for $35, right? We all got fucked. We all got properly rammed right up the ass. We all know it. I suppose we don't need reminded of it. But we did. If you would go to Walmart and you would buy it, there was no CD in there. There was a cardboard cutout along the fringe down. Like, again, if I keep this around, just always as an example. Well, it's actually in my disc tray right now, but this thingy, this around, you can't see it because it's the green screen there. If I get the lighting just right. Which way is it? Hey, Miss Parker. There, okay, this thingy, the fringy thingy. All right. Around that is just a cardboard sleeve with a code to get a digital version of it. They didn't even give you a disc. They want to give you no ownership whatsoever. Yeah, well, Adam, I saw that rumor, but I think that's pretty much quashed now, right? Because, yo, Miss Parker! What up, Miss Parker? What up, people? I've been so deadly. I've just been stopping by. It's my Friday, so hi. Hi, Miss Parker. You're on a set schedule? So you got the next 3 days off? You've been working hard, Parker. How have the tips been lately? Yeah, I just gave you a cardboard code and said, have at it. You can go and thanks for buying this. You can go collect your reward. Hoping this guy's here so we get the SDU on the digital store. I don't know that discs for 76 exist.
I know a little song. If you'd like to hear it, I can sing it for you.
Just another way to cut the costs. Yeah, so Adam, I think that's been kind of squashed because you got the Xbox One S all digital without the optical drive. So I don't think that that's happening anymore, personally. I think that was the leak. Last week I worked 4 days, this week 3, so I mean for the most part. I've had weekends off, so that's good. You get weekends off. Glad to hear that, Miss Parker. How's Carly? How's your grandpa's foot? Thanks for being here again. Alright, so here's Randy, the day after the assault allegations came out. Here you go, David. Here you go, David. Oh, yes, David. No one kicks a dead dog, though. It could all be bullshit. Here you go, David. Do you like it? Do you like it when I suck you dry, David? Oh, David. David. He enjoys it. And he revels in it. Oh, I like it. Success. Still lurking. Thank you, Allie. Appreciate it a lot. Hiya. Hiya. Yep. Sue me for that. If you're looking for any reason to sue me since we're making light of a... That man has made so many enemies in such a short period of time. Lurk hype! In case you missed it. What is this? Spent the weekend in the amusement park. Already sunburned. Good. High 70. You're loving it. That's perfect weather. Oh, yes. That damn clip. Oh. Zoo this weekend. Good. Is your grandpa still going to do the maggot thing for his foot, Parker? They announced the specs for PS5. Can you just put a link into the Discord for that one, Adam? I heard that it's going to be SSD and shit, but again, is it like official, like Sony actually said? Because I think you're right. Sony did say, right? Wasn't that like 2 weeks ago? So yeah, it's got to be coming right up. You're right. It's going to have an SSD. Isn't it also going to have like DDR4? Flash memory? Dude, the level design in the robot DLC is shitty. It's not as bad as driving in Nox, but like, why did they... Again, there's this thing in level design where you try to guide a player's route in the most amenable way possible so that they don't get frustrated by the pathing. And this is a DLC that does not do that. It's so ass backwards. Like, your marker's going to be to your left, but it's not to your left. We got to go across a train yard and go down. Like, we literally go down, like, over here in order to reach across. I don't know. It's so fucking backwards that... This is just going to lead up again. Where do we need to go? Why? Why? I need to know where this exits to. Oh, whatever. Like, he's not gonna keep playing Xbox. Yo, tell us that's a YouTuber. He's really good at Monsterborn or Monster Hunter. He's a Borderlands guy. He's a Battleborn guy, and he's an Apex Legends guy. Check him out. He's getting a degree in chemistry right now. Well, we're checking out. You gotta go to the Pacific Wildlands Center in Seattle. I took my son there for Xmas. He loved it. That sounds like a cool place. What's to look into it, but I think you should. Which is a whole plant extract supposed to do wonders, cancers, and wounds. Does he have cancer in his foot, Parker? Just let me die. Holy shit! These guys keep spawning in with some damned good machine guns. This is a really good rocket, actually. It's that RWL roll. Level can actually do work. There's a lot of guys spawning here. Oh, the fire rate on that master is rough. Oh, that's a point in Tacoma, Washington. Is it a nice zoo? I've never been out west, so you guys will have to describe this to me. Might be able to stream before midnight on Monday. Before midnight on Monday. Is that the Rage 2 release, Adam? You'll be streaming the Rage 2 release? You're not playing it on PC? And we went the complete wrong way. Hardest part of this DLC is those guys. That boss is a bitch too, Justin. That thing's so fucking tanky. Like we have to beat that thing just to get the skill point too, don't we? Yeah, I bought it on Xbox One because I wanted to stream it at 60 on Xbox One X. Nice. I'll look forward to that, Adam. I'll be checking those streams out. See how Rage 2 is. Are the pre-orders for Rage good? Is the hype there for Rage? Because it seems, as we talked about, Adam, to really have kind of nosedived a little bit after the Borderlands announcement. Just wanted its half price on Mother's Day. That'll be really nice. That's cool. Redid the aquarium. That'll be fun, Miss Parker. Does Carly get you Mother's Day gifts? Is she old enough to like kind of do that? Maybe makes us a card at school. Alright, so oh, where this goes. You can kind of corner glitch him a bit though. True. True. He has a lot of health. That's the only struggle. I'm hoping he's not near as bad on this playthrough. I won't know till next week. Reviewers just got the copies of Rage 2. Well, as far as the hype, I know you won't know how good it is, but is it selling at all? I see like maybe 1,000 retweets on their stuff.
Over here! I need your help with this.
Operation Claptrap. I sure hope this was the right way. It's pointing down, so I don't think it's going to be the right way. Where am I going wrong? Where am I going wrong? Why is this so difficult? We've gone to all 3 exits now. Oh, she made me some magnet at school and some paper flowers. That's nice. That's nice of her. Not sure what to get my mom. Oh yeah, your mom. Shit. A joint. Does your mom smoke weed? I'm gonna be super impressed if it's really 60 FPS on Xbox One for a huge open world game. Yeah, that'd be super impressive.